February the 24th. We got a big slate, lots of NBA action today, a handful of Europa League action we'll get into for tomorrow. Not as much as last week, but still a handful of good Europa League picks for tomorrow. We got a little bit of tennis action, and then we're going to get Dynamite David in here and go over some college basketball games today. Not a huge slate, but a slate with a lot of good games, and we'll get to that a little later, but let's start out with the ATP Tour, and let's get to our tennis action we have for today. We're going to start out with our man in the Singapore Open, Alexander Bublik. He won for us yesterday. We got him at -1.5, -140 versus Yoshio Nishikawa. Really like this pick here. Bublik probably going to be all the way to the finals, where he might be a little bit of an underdog, but I think Bublik might be able to win this Singapore Open tournament. So let's ride Alexander Bublik, -1.5, -140 versus Yoshito Nishikawa. All right, let's move over to France, and let's go to the Montpellier Open, and we're going to start out with Denis Lovchik, -115 versus Denis Novak. Novak has been hot, but Denis will be way too much for him here. Lovchik really should be able to win this tournament, I think. And at -115, pretty good value here because of the great play of Denis Novak the last couple weeks. But we think Lovchik will be able to control it here. So -115, good value. All right, let's go to the other matchup. Herbert Hurkacz. I don't know if I can say that right, but it looks sort of right, and I don't know if my, I think it's Austrian is correct here, but Herbert Hurkacz, -1.5, -125 versus Alexander Fokina. Definitely the real favorite here. The number 2 seed out of this tournament should be able to deal with the Spaniard here. So I like Herbert to go through here pretty easily. -1.5, -125 in the Montpellier Open. So let's move on to the Europa League for tomorrow afternoon. And we're going to start out with Ajax -105 versus Lille. Last week we went with Lille. Ajax proved to get some goals late, and I think they'll just run away with this. I think Lille, I should have known better last week, is going to focus on winning Liga. Right now they're the leaders in Liga. I can't tell you how much of a big deal that is. Ever since PSG has started throwing their financial weight around, nobody has had even a sniff of the title in Liga, and Lille is winning it. So I think they will try to get out of this tournament as quick as they can and focus on winning on Liga and get into the Champions League next year. But to win Liga would be a very big deal for Lille with PSG sitting there. So I don't think they want to be playing on Thursdays and have to deal with this tournament while trying to win Liga, as PSG makes the down-the-stretch ride and be pushing hard to once again win Liga. So look for Lille to sort of bail out of this tournament right here. I look for Ajax to roll here at -105. I think you're getting really good value. Next up, we're going with Arsenal, -120 versus Benfica. Arsenal did not look great last week, but did manage a 1-1 draw. Should be able, back in London, to handle this, and I look for them to dominate here. I think this will be Arsenal's best chance to get into the Champions League, is to win the Europa League. So they need to make a real big push and focus here, because I don't think they have a chance of getting into the top spots. And really, I don't even know if they have a chance to get into the Europa League spots with as deep as it's been in the Premier League. They just haven't played well domestically, but still have a chance to do something and get into the Champions League if they win the Europa League. So Arsenal -120 versus a very tough Benfica team. All right, we called Young Boys last week, got a nice win, a nice underdog win out of that one. We're reversing course here, and we're going with Bayern Leverkusen, -185 to advance. Back home, Leverkusen should be able to handle this one pretty easy. And in that second half, they started to dominate the Young Boys and managed to take a 3-0 deficit and make it 3-3. And if it wasn't for, I wouldn't say it was a penalty, but it was a soft penalty. The Young Boys wouldn't even have ended up winning that game. But Leverkusen will advance here, and at -185, I think you're getting pretty good value. Next up, Real Sociedad, draw no bet, +155 versus Manchester United. Manchester United already has this game in hand. They got a very big game First, Chelsea coming up over the weekend. This will be a very important battle. I don't think they'll want anything to do with this game. They already have a very big lead on it. Real Sociedad might be able to get a win here, but I think really, if you really want to have no fun, you should probably bet on the draw here. But I think Manchester United probably won't even play their first, maybe not even their second team here. They'll just do enough to maintain their lead and advance in this Europa League tournament. I don't know what Real Sociedad will come out to do, but 0-0 tie wouldn't shock me too much here, as nobody wants to play too hard. But Real Sociedad, draw no bet, plus 155. Next up, let's get into some NBA action. 4 NBA picks today and a full slate of NBA games. We're going with the Indiana Pacers, minus 1.5 versus Golden State. Indiana had the night off last night. Golden State did not. Had a tough game with the Knicks. Got that win. I don't think they'll be able to go down to Indiana and win this game. I look for Indiana to have an advantage here at minus 1.5. Really, really good value. Interesting game up next. I like the Boston Celtics minus 1.5, even though they had a tough loss to Dallas last night. The Atlanta Hawks also played in Orlando, had a pretty easy win, but I just don't think the Celtics will go down to the Hawks again. They lost to them last week. I just can't see that. I think the Celtics have a little bit more pride than that. If they don't win this game, it really will be panic time in Boston here. So Boston minus 1.5, I think, is really, really good value. All right, we're going to go with 2 other NBA picks, and they're big spreads. Do we like taking big spreads in the NBA? No, but I sort of like these. The Detroit Pistons won last night, which means they're due to get killed tonight. So New Orleans Pelicans minus 9.5. Is it dangerous to take the Pelicans minus 9.5? It certainly is, but I expect a listless performance from Detroit on a back-to-back here. New Orleans did not play last night, so they'll be coming out. I just don't think Detroit will be able to keep up offensively with the New Orleans Pelicans. This will be a blowout pretty easy. Hopefully it won't be too much of a blowout where that fourth quarter we start to get some creep back in there, but I think New Orleans wins this by 15 points or so. So New Orleans minus 9.5. Next, we're going to go with the Utah Jazz at home, minus 8.5 versus the Lakers. Lakers, I think, will continue to struggle without Anthony Davis there. Going into Utah, I look for Utah to make a statement and put it on the Lakers here. No Davis, no Schroeder. Look for the Lakers to come back here and really put it on them. I just, anything under 10 right now for the Utah Jazz, I would advise taking. They're on that much of a roll. All right, let's bring Dynamite David in here and go to some college basketball picks. All right, we bring in our man Dynamite David for our college basketball picks. Medium slate today, not a whole lot of games, but a couple really, really big ones. Really some good ones up at the top. What do you got for us today, Dynamite?
I'm going to start off with a Big Ten matchup. I'm going to take Rutgers at home again tonight, minus 3.5 versus Indiana. I think they're a different team at home, and actually I think they're just a better team than Indiana as well. So look for Rutgers to cover the 3.5.
Well, that's exciting that I've pulled you into my Rutgers nightmare, because I'm also taking Rutgers minus 3.5. We're holding on to their good at home, despite losing last week to Maryland at home and a couple other defeats. But we're going to trust Rutgers pulls it out today. I think this is a much better matchup. Indiana, they don't score very well. Rutgers should be able to hold them down and win this one at home for sure. And they also, despite their KenPom rating of 28, I'm not sure they're a lock for the tournament at 12-9 quite yet. So a win versus Indiana at home would definitely help a bit.
They're great defensively. I think I was just looking at something. They're like one of 2 teams in the top 30 KenPom that have like sub 50 offensive ratings, them and Tennessee. Yeah. They're both good defensive teams, but terrible offensively. So
yes. I'm hoping that comes to roost first. A very, very poor offensive team in Indiana.
Next up, I like Xavier minus 2.5 at Providence. I just think offensively Xavier's the better team here, and they just come off with a dominant win over Butler. And Providence been kind of so middle of the road, and I think Xavier's going to come in, and I like them just the minus 1.5.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Next up, I've got a couple SEC matchups. I'm going to start with the smaller. Well, not less important matchup. It's Tennessee at Vanderbilt. Um, as much as it's bit me in the butt all year, I'm going to take the Vols again tonight, -6.5. I think I got on that early. It's already moved a little bit. I just, the way they've been hot and cold offensively, I'm just hoping that they're going to have a bounce back game tonight. They know that they need to win this to maintain a decent seed in the tournament, and Vanderbilt's the team to do that against, I think. And I could see this being about a 10-point game.
Yeah, I think as long as you take them every game, you're always bound to get the one good one in Tennessee. So you can just ride the 50% train the rest of the year.
And then last up, the big SEC matchup of the night. I like Alabama -1.5 at Arkansas. I'm actually put money on the money line here. I think it's good value at 2-1 plus. I think it's like +110 now, but I think Alabama should be favored by a lot here, and they're actually getting 1.5. And now Arkansas is playing very well, but Alabama's the better team and beat them by like 20 something I think earlier in the year. So I don't see that going any differently, and I think Alabama dominates tonight at Arkansas.
Yeah, well, we're in another battle again. This one I'm a little bit more confident in than the one yesterday where I really wanted Georgia Tech and the numbers were telling me to take Virginia Tech. This one, I like Arkansas in this one at home. I know if you look back, it was probably, a month ago they played and Alabama won by about 20 and smoked them. But Arkansas's known troubles have been on the road. But I really, really like Arkansas here. They're on a nice little streak here, 4 games, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Missouri, and Florida. Those are all at least all right to good SEC teams. And I just think they'll be pumped up tonight in Little Rock and come out and play a really nice game. I don't know what Alabama's how they're going to come out tonight. So I'm looking forward to watching this game. It's a really good one, but I have Arkansas -1.5. And I also, in this game, have the under 158.5. I think this is going to be a game where those two teams it's probably a matchup for the best team in the SEC. And I think it might be a little bit lower scoring, more like a tournament game atmosphere. So the offense might not be quite as free flowing as it usually is, especially the first time around when Alabama scored 90 on them. All right, I got one more pick left in mine. American +9.5 versus Loyola Maryland. We aren't going to the big games here. We're back to the Patriot League. Very interesting here. American has lost 4 times to Navy, won twice against Loyola Maryland, and that's all they've played game-wise this season. Loyola Maryland has beaten really Lafayette and Lehigh, who are the worst teams in the Patriot League. So why they're getting 9.5, I don't know. So I'm just going to ride with American and hope that trend continues. Not really much to gauge considering these teams have played 3 different teams all season long. It's more like a small high school season going on there where everybody just rotates and plays everybody 5 times. But I thought the 9.5 was a little bit much for a team that has already beaten them twice. So I like American today, +9.5. And as we talked, Rutgers -3.5 and Arkansas -1.5 and the under 158.5 are my picks in college basketball today. All right. Be sure to follow us on greenlightnetwork.org, Greenlight Network on Facebook, and Greenlight Network on YouTube. Where can we find you, Dynamite?
Follow me on Twitter at GLN_D.
You can find me, GLN Champ 5 on Twitter and Instagram. That's our show, and we're out.